second story is the husband and wife were going through a nasty divorce, and the ex-husband, or the ex-husband, burned down the house. And unfortunately, knows the story through the mother being killed, because it's the mother that was talking.
Are you two together?
That was really good.
That was brilliant.
It's kind of romantic, isn't it?
That's incredible.
Everlasting love.
That was incredible.
Romantic. It was kind of romantic.
It was very romantic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's been a little bit of a crazy week. A lot going on, and it came down to the wire on what, March 31st, the last day of signing up.
Yeah.
Global Ghost Hunt. I saw your post on Twitter.
I
Your
had
tweet,
trouble with.
I guess.
No, I had trouble with the hashtags. It was
Yeah,
too
look
long,
who's
so I
in
was
the
like,
room.
no. Hey, Nubsy.
Look who's in the room.
Long time
no see. Wow, that's a long.
I know, right? That's
It's been a while
crazy.
since he's been in this room.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
Here's our friend here, Mr.
Hey,
Hernandez.
Nando.
Lads. And if we have Facebook user. And here's Bill. Bill messaged me last week and said, "Are you having a show today?" Because I guess the time went past and you weren't up. So yeah, we did have a show last week. Well, we were supposed to have a show last week, and unfortunately, our guest, a tornado hit the night before, and all power was out. So we're going to try to get them on later on down the road at some point. I'm interested. I was watching some of their videos, and they don't have long videos on there. They got mainly clips of previous investigations, and some of them were pretty good. So one thing we haven't spoken of since getting up on Spotify and iHeart and all those things, that I was listening to the show last week. The one that we had with Valerie on the week before. And I realized that we're playing all those pros at the beginning, and there's like I think 3 or 4 minutes of it.
Yeah, give or take.
Of the intro. And people on the podcast side are going, okay, well, this is a long intro, because that's what I thought. And there were 3 different kinds of intros. And then the last intro is kind of a commercial. And then you hear voice and you hear your voice and stuff like that. And I was thinking, okay, people are going to have no idea what this is about. So for the people that are listening through the podcast, those are intros. The intro of our show, and then the video for Global Ghost Hunt that was brought out last year, and then the last one is a commercial that went out for the Global Ghost Hunt as well. And if you want to go check those out, go over to YouTube, and on our channel you'll be able to those videos are about, instead of just listening to the music. So I was thinking about this. Maybe I should cut that out on the podcast side. I don't know if I can, though.
I'm not sure if you can. Or just play them throughout the show as commercials then, instead of just lumping them all in at the beginning.
Yeah, but people still won't understand what they are.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Right? Yeah. So I think there might be a way I might be able to cut it out when I'm downloading it to the rss.com. I think I can.
Maybe.
I think they give you an option to cut something out. So I'll have to check that out when I upload this one, either today or tomorrow. So they seem to be doing well. People are listening to them.
Yeah, that's
know
good to
why.
hear. I'm glad people are enjoying it.
Well, what about your workers? They're listening to it, right?
Yeah, some people I
Are they
work with listen to the
listening to
podcast.
at work? Just you.
No, some of them. There's
So you're on a
two.
delay again. Aren't you?
Two. I don't know. My internet's crazy over here today.
Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of a delay. We thought we had it fixed. I know when Jenn came up, I brought her up, but it was really, really bad. So I think she might be on her phone now. I can't tell. I don't know. So we had Jenn Jacobs today. I saw her on show last week, I think it was, or she was a viewer in the show. And I wanted to bring her because not only is she part of the Global Ghost Hunt, Eclipse Paranormal, she's going to be investigating the Collingwood Arts Center, which is funny because somebody messaged to me and asked me if that's the art center up in Collingwood, which is about an hour and a half from 2 hours from me. We have a town here called Collingwood, an art center in Collingwood. Same one. This one's in the States. So so she's going to be investigating there, which is going to be a lot of fun. I've never seen that place. I don't think I've ever seen this on any videos. So I think that's really good. There's going to be a number of places that we've never seen before in videos, and which is funny because now, since some of these locations are going to be investigated by some of these investigators with the Global Ghost Hunt, I'm starting to see other people booking those areas. I've never seen the Bullion Plaza. Never seen that before. And somebody investigated there this past week. So hopefully the Global Ghost Hunt is doing its job by getting these locations out there. I'm hoping that the Victorian View, the SK Mansion, and obviously everybody knows the Hinsdale, but even the Clive Cottage in Australia, that's going to be investigated, it looks kind of cool. So hopefully a lot of these places are going to pick up some of their business because of the Global Ghost Hunt, and that's what it was about, right?
So, that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you this week?
Well, as we all know,
last 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah, well, as we're very aware, all I do is work. So, and for those who are listening at my workplace today, I really enjoy my job, so don't get rid of me. But yeah, it's just been working really. Like even trying to find a faker for tonight has been a struggle because I've not had the time to watch new videos. So it's been a very tough couple of weeks.
Yeah. Weren't you supposed to bring the first videos out at the end of February?
Yep, and work has delayed that, so now I don't know when I'm going to get them out. But they are coming. They will be out.
Yeah.
They will come soon. If not, I'll try and get the first one out as soon as possible anyway. But I've had to keep pushing things back, and it's been a little bit irritating.
Yeah. They're all sitting in my external hard drive, ready to be edited, and I got 3 videos and I did 4 Paraflix, and it's been tough just to find some time to sit down, and because it's not like you're sitting down for like 15 minutes.
No, not at all.
You're sitting down for 8, 9, 10 hours, or even over a couple of days, and you got to find that time. And I'll be honest, Global Ghost Hunt has tied up a lot of my time. Parapost is starting to tie up a lot of my time again. And then on top of that, I was looking for a new place.
Yeah.
So I was considering moving. I've changed my mind. I'm going to stay here till probably next year. And even though there's been, issues and stuff like that, but, so that I took that off the shelf. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. But Global ghost hunt's getting closer, really, really close. What, 4 weeks away on Tuesday?
Yep.
So the first one will be the patrol, I believe. They're on the 4th, I believe. They're going to be the
Yeah.
very first investigation on the Thursday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's a good start. That's a really, really good start, having the patrol up there and Nando's saying yes. And so what a great team to start with. It's going to be a great location too. Like they're doing a jail. I think that's a great place to start. I think during these 10 days we're going to have 3 jails.
Yeah,
3
the
jails
jails
being
are going to be awesome.
investigated.
Yeah,
I love
definitely looking forward to tuning into those.
investigating. Oh, I got some videos up on YouTube from Burwash, and I love jails. I love investigating jails. They're a lot of fun. So
I've not
and they
done
can be
one.
really, really creepy too. No,
Yeah, I've not been to a jail yet.
but
No,
you're going out with them on the 4th, right? Are you going out with them on the 4th for their investigation?
I don't know if it's the 4th or if we're doing a second one. As far as I'm aware, it's the 4th. Yes.
Because I know you're going out with them in September, right? To East Drive, right?
Yeah, that's in September. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think they're going out on the 4th, and they're doing some kind of jail. So I can't remember the name of the jail, but that's going to be your first jail, really.
Yeah, and that's going to be exciting.
Really? Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be cool, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of fun. Jails are cool. I wish we have another jail up here that I'd love to get into, but unfortunately somebody screwed it up. So they don't really allow paranormal investigators in anymore. So yeah, so kind of sucks. And that's the Kingston jail. It's about 2 hours from me. It's a fantastic jail. I'd love to get in there, but unfortunately, somebody screwed it up a number of years ago. A medium, they were filming outside, and a medium said somebody's name. One of the prisoners. I think this is how the story goes. There was a prisoner that I guess spoke to her or something like that, and she started talking about it on film and what happened to him and how he died, and the family really didn't know, but she was saying all this. Well, the family went to turn around and sued Kingston jail because of it.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
So that's why they stopped allowing paranormal investigators in there. What they still do is tours. They still do the tours, but they don't allow investigations anymore. So it's too bad, because honestly it's an incredible place. Now there is another place around close by to me. It's called Don Mill Jail, and they've actually turned that into a museum, and you can do a tour, but I don't know if they allow investigations. But that would be an incredible place to investigate, the Don Mill, or the Don what is it, the Don Jail. It's, I believe, what it's called, and it's like literally like I can see it from here.
Oh wow,
that's how close it is. And but that would be that. Actually, it's down. It's down that way. It's right down that way. It's right over there, and that would be, and they turn it into a museum. But again, I think they only do tours, and it's just amazing how a lot of these investigators that do things in these places shut it down for other investigators to get in there, and it's really, really unfortunate. But anyhow, and there's and I think also we're going to have a couple of asylums too. I think we're going to have Matt Penhurst. And I believe there's another one too. Can't recall what it is, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyhow, not much going on with me other than that. So why don't we bring up Jenn Jacobs from Eclipse Paranormal? I don't know if she. Oh, there she is. So Okay, there she is. So let's bring up Jenn Jacobs from Eclipse Paranormal, and also we're going to get a chance to talk about her para retreats today as well. She one, and she's going to have a men's one coming up this year as well. So we'll get into that as well today. But here is Jenn Jacobs. Jenn, you're on mute.
Muted.
You're on mute.
Mute.
There you go.
Good thing. Said the 4-letter S word.
What's that?
How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing well. We seem to be having an internet problem everywhere today. We're having an internet problem there, and yours seem to be lagging today. Maybe there's something in the air. It doesn't seem to be happening in Canada. Actually, my voice is delayed, it looks like.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it could
anyways,
be
how
my
are you,
Wi-Fi.
Jenn? How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you guys?
Yeah, very well. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
we're doing well. You know, it's funny because I was thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking, I swear that I thought we had Jenn on the show before, and so I went through the list and go, no, she's not there. Now, originally, I know you were supposed to come up on the podcast that me and Matt were doing, and what Women Investigate too, but I think something happened there. You had an investigation or something like that, and you couldn't make it?
No, I was on it.
Were you on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So who am I thinking
was after,
of? You know who I'm thinking of? Karen Fry. Karen Fry. I'm thinking about Karen Fry.
Yeah.
She wasn't there. Yeah, that's right.
I was on before or after the Taps girl. Her dad's the ghost hunters guy. Jason Hawes' daughter.
Oh, Satori.
Yes.
Yeah, she was great. She was that was a great show. So Jenn, again, thank you for coming up on today's show. We have a lot to talk about today, and I really do want to get into your para retreats that you have coming up, and maybe even a little bit into the location that you're going to be investigating for the Global Ghost Hunt. I'm
good with
that. I don't know if you heard me, but we have a Collingwood town here. It's about 2 hours away from myself, and they actually have an art center. It's called Collingwood Art Center.
Yeah, I think you told me that because before.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the locations. So
okay.
I think I looked it up because you told me about it.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny. So actually, why don't we start off with the normal question that we always ask our guests? What got you into the paranormal? What's your origin story?
I have seen things since I was about 4 years old. Okay. My first, I now know it's an elemental. Back then, I was 4. Nobody really talked about ghosts and the paranormal back. Yeah, I'm old, so we'll just say it. The 70s and 80s, it was a no-no. So I was in my mom's bedroom, and I looked out the back window, and there was something there. It looked like a little tree with arms. It blinked and smiled and disappeared, and I went and told my mom, and she's like, "That's because you're being mean. That was the devil after you."
Oh, wow.
That's a way to scar a kid for life, isn't it?
Wow. That's a way to scare the crap out of you.
Yeah, it's those good. Oh, I probably, if I say this, I'm going to get hate mail. It's Southern Baptist. Like the jump up and testify Southern Baptist. Yeah.
I have to be honest, I don't know a lot. I'm not a huge religious person, so I don't know a lot about Southern Baptist. So
they like to jump up and testify, and they speak in tongues, and it's
okay. So are they the ones that they all stand up in the church and they all sing? They all sing together and waving their arms up and down. Okay.
Sometimes.
I get it.
Yeah. That'd be them.
Cool. So as you were saying.
But yeah, from then on, I knew something was out there. And after, this is going to be kind of odd, but I don't know, because I was young, if I was reading about Bigfoot or I was watching TV, but I would dream at times that Bigfoot was at the end of my bed. And
That's
I actually I actually like my junior year, I wrote my final paper on Sasquatch and Bigfoot. Anything I could get about the Bermuda Triangle, Bigfoot, ghost hunting, anything I could get my hands on, I would read growing up. But back then, there wasn't a whole lot to put your hands on.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm with you on the 70s and 80s thing because I obviously, I was from that era as well. And if you went to the library looking for any books on that type of stuff, there might have been one book,
yep,
and that's all you had. And then, even TV shows, it wasn't really on TV or anything like that. They had like flicks or like things in the movie theaters where, it'd be like, for example, like Monsters and like Jaws and like all those and Star Wars and all those type of films,
yep,
but nothing really a documentary type of thing where something was real. It was all mainly fiction back in the 70s. There was rarely anything that you could find. And I think that's why it was such taboo because you didn't see it. People didn't talk about it like they do now.
oh
Like
no,
today, it's like normal conversation, with when you talk about it today, at least amongst people in the paranormal. But people that are normal, they look at you going, okay, well, that's, you tell them what you do or what your hobbies are, and you tell them that you're, a ghost hunter, and they look at you like, you're some kind of weird ass person, you know what I mean? And,
oh yeah.
but I get it. I get it. And so how long has Eclipse been around? And when did Eclipse start?
It's so back in 2003, there was a team formed here in Indiana. And my mom was like, hey, there's a ghost hunting team close to South Bend. And I always had to work the Saturdays they had meetings. And I ended up moving back to Fort Wayne. And eventually I started ghost hunting around 2010. I joined one of their chapters and it was not a good fit. So I quit and started my own team. And I changed the name around 2015, I think, 2016. It was BSR Paranormal, but I wanted to go a different direction. So I changed the name to Eclipse Paranormal. And that's when I started having public investigations and the conferences I host now.
Okay. Lex?
Oh yeah, so you've been going at this for a little while. Then you definitely know your way around the field.
Just a few years. And then in 2016, I was asked to run the Indiana chapter of the North American Dogman Project. So I'm an all-around creepy girl.
There you go.
I did. Yeah, that's good first line on your bio. So
Hey, I could use
Yeah,
that.
put that at the top of your resume,
could.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a creepy girl at the top.
What you were saying, you said something. I don't even remember now. It was there and now it's gone. Oh, Leonard Nimoy. Do you remember that show in like the 70s and 80s? I don't even know the name of it. I don't think I ever watched it. That he hosted. The guy from, what was it, Star Trek?
Yeah, he's from Star Trek.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't recall the show he did.
I don't either.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Lex is asking his question. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm Googling it too.
As you can tell, guys, we're all avid fans of Leonard Nimoy, though none of us know what he did other than Star Trek.
We can ask Sheldon Cooper. I bet he'd know.
He'd definitely know. But while we're fact checking that and looking
In
that
search
up,
of.
True.
In search of. That's what it's called. Yeah. I don't remember those shows. Apparently, he did 144 episodes.
What?
So,
wow. No, that was in the 70s.
70s and 80s, maybe. Yeah, In Search of Leonard Nimoy's 1970s reality show.
Oh wow,
Huh. And there's 144 episodes.
interesting. Yeah,
I've never seen one yet.
never heard of it.
Oh,
Never heard of
76. It was on from 1976 to 1982.
Well, I wasn't even born yet,
Sure.
so.
Oh, hush.
No, Lex was not even a thought
Nope.
at that time.
So you're a baby.
I'm
Yeah.
30, but yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm very young in this field. One of the youngest
Oh,
I
yeah.
see around everywhere. But
Oh, now you're making me even feel more old. So
That's okay. He does that to me all the time. Because I think Jenn, me and you are around the same age. So
yeah.
yeah. So no, I don't think I ever saw Insert. I'm sure I saw it. I'm sure if I looked at an episode, I'd go, oh yeah, I remember that now. So
I don't
anyways,
even
go ahead,
think
Lex, sorry.
Yeah, so before, yeah, but obviously, like you said, you've been in this field for a while. When was the last time you went out to investigate?
Last year, we went to Eloise Asylum outside of Detroit.
And how did that investigation go? How was it?
It was awesome. I got scratched twice. I
Oh,
really
wow.
pissed somebody off. Becky did too. But
Yeah,
I've always wanted to go there. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jenn. Sorry.
I knew about it, God, 10 years ago? And they didn't have it open, and people would sneak in there, and that's a no-no. So they finally opened it, and myself, my team members or teammate, Becky, her daughter Cheyenne, and my friend Cindy went. And we did a public investigation, and we kind of were wandering around the floor on our own, and we had a lot of things happen. Like my jacket was pulled. I thought it got caught on one of those grates that covers the windows in asylums, but it didn't. And then we heard them laughing over the spirit box. And when we went on the first floor, which is turned into an office, they had like child services in there and Medicaid and things in that floor. And the guide told us, she said, now when people go in this room, they tend to get scratched. We walked in there and you hear Becky say, I think I just got scratched. My leg's burning. You lift her pant leg up. She got scratched. And there's a chair. They said every time they move that chair, something happens around it. Yeah, I kind of sat in the chair and got scratched twice. And it was under 2 layers of clothing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a good place to go. I did ask them I had emailed them a couple months ago about doing an investigation there for Global Ghost Hunt, and I never got an answer back.
Yeah. And talking about Global Ghost Hunt, and I'm interested to find out what's going on where you are, because I'll be honest, I looked at the place and I looked at a lot of the pictures, and it really, really looks like a really, really beautiful place.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those places where I think people are going to be really interested in watching because it is such a beautiful location. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on at that location so people are prepared when they watch your live investigation, which I believe is on May 13th, I believe.
It sure is.
You're May 13th.
Yep. And I still have to figure out a good time. We had 20 spots open. We've sold like maybe 6 tickets so far, so there's still plenty of room.
Okay.
It was a convent at one time, which I think will be very interesting. Okay. And apparently one of the nuns, she hung herself in the basement, and she is a very angry woman. I had heard a couple years ago there was a really mean spirit in the basement that would scratch you and attack you. And I'm going to guess it's probably her. But she's also seen in the auditorium glaring at people from the balcony. There's a little gnome figure that's mischievous in the basement. He likes to make people jump. He's not mean. He just likes to pick at them and make them jump. And I guess they have EVPs of somebody screaming where he scared them, and you can hear him giggle or laugh. And then there's something not so nice that hangs around the stairway. In the attic, there is a nun that is still working, and she, full body, you can see her sewing away. She'll smile, wave, and disappear. And I don't remember. That's like the big things to me. Of course, you can hear people walking, your normal stuff, noises, knocks.
Is there like a backstory? Is there a backstory on the fact on why this nun apparently killed herself? Is there a backstory about that, or did she leave?
I haven't
like,
heard one or been
suicide
told
note
one.
or something like that. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything, or I've asked and no one seems to know. I was trying to.
Because you think that would be the last person that would hang themselves? It would be a nun.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of against that?
They're going to purgatory?
Isn't that the pawn as not very good as a nun?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So I'm definitely looking forward to that location and seeing your investigation. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. There's going to be a lot of places that people have just never seen before. And this is what's so great about the Global Ghost Hunt is, first of all, we're going to have all these different investigations and for places that people have never seen before. And that's what I love. And yours is one of them. And I think if it turns out really good, then hopefully a lot more people will go there and investigate and book that place. Is that place usually pretty busy, or are they hard to book there, or are they?
I know Destination Fear or Project Fear now has been there, and then Ghost Hunters was there. I didn't realize they were there. That's the only two shows that's ever been there, which I found really interesting because it's really active. It's the most haunted place in Toledo.
Yeah, that you'd think there'd be more there, wouldn't you?
Interesting. So what?
But people know more about the Toledo Yacht Club, which I really don't know anything about, compared to this art center. And to me, the art center has more history and would be more of a place for hauntings than the Yacht Club. I mean, are you gonna? When I think of Yacht Club, I think of Gilligan, but.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I looked up the Collingwood Art Center, that came up, the Yacht Club. Also.
Yep. Yeah.
So are people so is that place just as haunted as the Collingwood is, or is that one more haunted?
I don't know. I've never been there. I think they do a lot of their own investigations and open it up. I know that place is hard to book, but you have to consider in the summer that you have parties and things going on within the club too.
So just getting into your para retreats, you have two coming up. You have one coming up for the women's and one coming up for the men's. Where did this idea come from, and when did you start it? And maybe you can talk a little bit about what's going to happen in the women's retreat, so people might be interested. Can people still sign up for this, for the one coming up?
The women's retreat, they can. And it's really sad because the guys, the men of the paranormal convention, I could go 3 days. There's so many people that want to speak at that.
Yeah.
But the women's event, I can barely get women to sign up. Women have said, I've had women tell me, hey, I don't know if I'm qualified for this. I know about this, this, and this. Am I qualified? I said, you know what? Sign up. We'll talk. It's about bringing women together and featuring them is what it is. Just because you're on TV doesn't mean you know everything. Sorry, Bryan.
Yeah.
I know you.
Why
You've
say
been on
sorry to
some
me?
show. Well,
Because you're on TV.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm humble in that way that I don't act that way, and yeah, I've been on TV and stuff like that, but now when I've been on TV, it has been for like any like paranormal show. Well, it's been for paranormal shows, but it's as an actor, not as reality. You know what I mean? So
yep.
I have somebody that's asked me to come out to their Paracon, not the New Orleans one. There's another one in June that I'm supposed to be going to, and
Okay.
I know some of these when you're calling up these people to come out to these Paracons, they're expecting everything under the sun. They're expecting money. They're expecting the flight being paid for. They're expecting lodging and their food to be paid for. I think they're missing the point on some of these Paracons, because some of these Paracons are what they're doing, especially the one in New Orleans. All the money and a lot of the proceeds are going towards a foundation, and I think people, I know you already had that situation, Jenny, where you asked somebody if they can come on and they said, well, they need this amount of money. They need their, and it's just, I get it. I understand. I get it. But, sometimes people just, they're doing they're doing a retreat like yours. It's not about the money. And you're probably not making a lot of money from it. And this is about getting women together in the paranormal field and celebrating each other and celebrating how women are just as powerful in the paranormal industry than men are, and I know why you started the men's, because men were complaining because there was no men retreat.
and women were too.
Yeah. So
women were.
Tell us a little about what goes on in these retreats.
So the women's event will have all female speakers, psychic mediums, vendors, and lead investigators. And they're going to be classes on numerology. There's going to be psychic readings. There's going to be a class on herbs, or a workshop, I should say, on herbs and crystals, how you use those in the field together.
Okay.
And it's just about highlighting and bringing women out in the field, because I know I was just told the other day, there's several women on Paraflix, female-based shows.
Yeah.
That I did not know about.
Yeah.
But like the big shows, like the big names, like Travel Channel, what's the other one? Discovery? I don't know.
Yeah, Discovery Plus, yeah.
Discovery Plus.
What was there, like two? The one lady in the UK at, what was that show called? Haunted something. She had hers, and then wasn't there another one or two shows, but ladies are always like the sidekicks to the guys. There's never any female based shows. And I know people bring up, it's not Amy Bruni, it's the other lady, the psychic medium that investigates. You can tell I watch a lot of these shows, right? That investigates with the police officer. Wasn't he a former police officer? Oh, what is her name? Now I'm going to have to Google that. But people like to say, well, she has the show, but she's still,
I don't recall.
They work together. what is it called?
And by the way, I just put up the link for the women's para retreat because somebody did
Oh,
ask for the
thank you.
link. So I put the link
Thank you.
up, and I believe the link is for the show. So yeah, is her name Amy Allen? Brandon's
Maybe.
saying Amy Allen.
See,
Is it the
I
Dead
can't
Files?
see the comment. Yes, that's it. I just looked it up. Yep.
Yeah. So Amy Allen is who you were speaking about.
But still,
Did you
that's
try
not
to
all
contact
female.
with her to come out?
No. Uh-uh.
No. Okay.
No, I haven't.
You should.
Somebody actually told me, hey, if you get a para celeb to come out, you'll sell out. Well, yeah, but I can't afford that. I know this. But
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of money laying around. Even like some of the ladies that I've interviewed, I had a lady that nobody's ever heard of want $5,000 to speak at the conference. And if I couldn't afford the $5,000, she wanted travel expenses, her hotel accommodations, and a flight out there. I told her, I said, if you think I could afford a flight, wouldn't I be on vacation? And then I had another lady the other day. I haven't interviewed her yet. I'm very leery on doing this. She wants to be paid $20 every 15 minutes to do readings.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's unfortunate how the direction is turning for some of these investigators and some of these people and that are coming out to them. And I get it why they want to get paid, and because it's their time. But let's be, you can also be a little bit reasonable too. You know what I mean? And some of these paracons that are up and going, they don't make a lot of money at these paracons. So for people that are interested now, do you charge a fee at these para retreats, or is this something that is free, or what can they expect?
So we have conference passes. You can do a Saturday or a Sunday or both days. We have 4 investigation locations, and those tickets include the conference and a daytime tour of West Virginia State Penitentiary. The conference will be at Moundsville Center, which is located on the prison's grounds. And
Also, you're investigating a prison.
yeah, we're investigating West Virginia State Penitentiary on Saturday night. And then the other locations on Friday and Sunday is Archive of the Afterlife Paranormal Museum, the Wells Inn, and the Old Gaslight Theater.
Oh, that sounds good.
And those are open to everybody.
Sounds like you got some. Yeah, sounds like you got some great things going on. And again, people, if you want to go over, I put the link in the chat there. It's also in the description, I believe. If you want to go take a look and get yourself and maybe some of your girlfriends to go out there and experience a nice weekend of learning different things and going on some investigations as well. And it sounds like a lot of fun. So what do you got planned for? Do you have anything planned or set ready to go for the men's, or what can the men expect, or is it basically going to be along the same lines?
Hold on. I'll answer that in just a second. The women's event, we are collecting non-tangible items for domestic violence survivors because not all of them are women. And a lot of the people that come in that have kids have no formula, no diapers, no wipes, no clothes. It's amazing how many kids come in the winter without coats, without shoes, without anything. So we're collecting those items too. And as for the investigations, we're going to split into 2 groups. Well, we're going to have 4 groups, but we're going to split it into 2 and 2. One set will be for all women to investigate, and 2 other groups will be for like men and women. So if some ladies don't feel comfortable investigating with men because it's happened. There's been women who've been on a team and a guy's touched their butt or said something in the dark and they don't want to investigate anymore with men. But we have that 2 groups and then the mixed group. So, oopsies.
Sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot of fun. And again, if you guys or anybody in the chat or people watching the replays or people that are listening, if you want to go check out the Women's Para Retreat on Facebook, you can. And there is a men's one coming up. When is the men's? In September or October?
Oh no, they gave her date away for September, so it is now November 11th.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And
so
it's the
November
longest.
11th.
Yep.
And what is
And
the
that's
tour? Is it 3 days or 2 days?
just one. I think
What's
next
one
year I'm
day?
going to have to up it to 2. It's on November 11th. It's going to be in Winchester, Indiana. We're going to have the vendors at the 4-H grounds, the Randolph County 4-H grounds. Directly across the street is Randolph County Asylum. So speakers will be in there, and then that's where we're going to investigate that night. Is Randolph County Asylum, which is a really good location.
Yeah,
We've been there before.
I've seen the Randolph. That's one place I'd love to visit is the Randolph. It just looks like an amazing location. So, Lex?
So I want to just bring, first of all, I want to say the work you're doing for the retreats is awesome. I think that's a really cool idea.
Thank you.
You know, some people might question, but why is there a women's one, not a men's one? Well, there is one coming up, so you have thought of everything, so that's grand. But I think it's awesome, and I think it's something that's really needed. And I think you're quite right. There's a few things that happen in this industry and all industries that need to be sorted out some way or the other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to bring your attention back to the ghost hunt for a minute, and I just want to ask you, what was it about the global ghost hunt that you liked the idea of and that you really wanted to join in with this?
Should I let it out of the bag? But
yeah, you should.
Well,
no holding back, Jen. No holding back. I know what you're thinking.
You probably do.
Yeah.
So I'll just let it all out. I was with World's Largest Ghost Hunt since the 2nd year. Last year, other people took over. Maria is busy with her other ventures, so she let some people take over, and I was put in charge of promotions team, which I do a lot of promoting as it is. And the people that took it over, Rob, I don't know how to say his last name, Stackowitz, whatever his name is, and Michelle Roos took it over. And Rob tried to micromanage. He's never done an event like Global Ghost, not Global Ghost Hunt, but World's Largest Ghost Hunt. See, my mindset's over to global already. But we butted heads, and he removed me after me telling him that he needs to understand, I've done this for years. I know what to do. And his response is, well, I've saved multi-million-dollar companies before. I know what I'm doing. That's apparently why you're not having one this year. So I said, you know what? I moved on. I said, Bryan, can I come work with you on Global Ghost Hunt? And here we are. And this year they're not having World's Largest Ghost Hunt. And I told Maria, I said, until you take that back over, I refuse to be part of it again. And they only had a handful of teams at the end of last year when it came back. And they're not even doing it this year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate what happened over there. And I won't go too much deep into it. But things happen. Things happen, and I think things happen for a reason. And unfortunately, it happened. So, and when Jen messaged me and said she wanted to come over, I was more than happy to say yes. Uh, and here we are today. And Jen has been part of the Global Ghost Hunt as a volunteer. But that's probably going to change after the first one. So, as she knows, but we'll talk about that later on down the road. And I'm glad Jen came over, to be honest. And she's been a great help with Raymond and Jason locations. And Jen knows what she's doing, and she's got her head on straight. And I'm glad she came over. So anyhow.
And I've got
So
4 locations
just going,
already for October.
Yeah, there you go. So just going on with more Lex's question. So what was it about the Global Ghost Hunt that said, you know what, I want to be a part of this?
I like that it's 10 days and you can choose whichever day you want or do them all. And
Yeah.
And you can film for it. Like I said, I've got October booked except for one weekend already. And 2 of those, what is it, the 18th through the 28th for October? Is that the right date?
19th to the 29th. 19th to the 29th.
Okay. Well, I'm going to film at 2 locations. And I talked to Dwight, and he's good with me filming for it. I think he's excited. And he's coming over too, so that worked out well. And then I've got a location that is new that that only a handful of teams have been in, so that's going to be great. And I have Wildwood Sanatorium, and the 28th we have the Hensdale House. So it helps not only that it's 10 days, you can film, you can go live. And I think it's great that you can, I know Larissa up at Hell House or Waldorf Estates, she just filmed for it. And I think it's great that you're allowing people to film and then turn it in instead of saying, oh, you have to go live. And it gives more teams and the locations more opportunities for people to come in during that 10-day span and twice a year. And I talked to some people, try to get them to sign up, and locations think it's great too.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, because originally we were thinking, when I first started it, I was originally thinking 7 days. And then it got changed to 10 because it gave a more opportunity for people that were going into locations and not having the not being able to do it live because they can't get Wi-Fi or their data, and or for example, like
underground.
I know yeah, and I was going to say that. I was going to say, look at Fort Whitley. If somebody wanted to do the location in the UK of Fort Whitley, you can't go live because it's 60 feet under the ground.
Oh, wow.
But that would be a great location for people to see. And so if somebody comes up in October and wants to do Fort Whitley, like let's say Portal to the Paranormal decide that they're going to do Fort Whitley in October, then, they can record it and then we can show it live recording during those 10 days. And honestly, I thought 1 day or 24 hours just wasn't long enough for teams. You know what I mean? And I wanted to give the teams a good opportunity of filming for 2 hours, not 1 hour. And, because I strongly believe that first hour of your investigation is really getting to know the place, feeling the place out. And especially if you haven't been there before, you're feeling the place out. You're going to try to figure out what kind of equipment you're going to use, if you're going to use any equipment. So I took a lot of factors in why I wanted it 2 hours, not an hour. I just don't think an hour is long enough. By the time you set up and gone through the place, an hour's done. That's why the 2 hours came up. So, but you made some good points there, Jen, and I'm glad it sounds like you got some great locations coming up October. I know there's a lot of people out there, and I'm going to say this now. I know there's a lot of people out there because I've been told. I've had a couple teams tell me they want to see what happens with the first one, and what if they like what they see in the first one, they're definitely going to be signing up for the second one. And for people that don't know, we're going to have, and I can be honest about this, we're going to have somewhere between around 24 to 26 investigations in those 10 days. And I think that's a pretty good damn first hunt for that many teams. And
That's what I was going to say.
And I'm anticipating, and I'll let people know this too. We already have people signing up for October. And so this is something. It's going to be, I think people are going to want to get involved and want to join up for the global ghost hunt. Like Raymond, I know Raymond made a comment there that he's recording his and we're going to be playing, I believe his is going to be on the 9th. He's recording Octagon Hall, and it's going to be great. And I love the fact that we put in here that people that can go into location and record, and then we'll show it during those 10 days. I love that we've given that to people, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a busy 10 days. It's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot going on in those 10 days, and but it's going to go it's going to go by really, 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 really quickly. So and just to let people know, the Global Ghost Hunt for May has closed. It closed on Friday. So if you are going to sign up, just to let you know that if you're signing up, it's for October. It's not for May. I know sometimes people will come in and say, you know what, can I sign up for May? I really got a great location. Unfortunately, we talked about this for a year, and March 31st was the so. Nothing wrong with doing it in October, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be good for the location and good for the team as well. So, Jen, when you're on investigations, what is the piece of equipment that, other than the camera, what is your go-to? What is it you like to use when you're on an investigation?
A lot of times I use my instincts. Like it was Lisa's podcast the other night I joined in on, and I don't know how to describe it.
Lisa Willie?
I don't remember.
Lisa
Marie,
I believe. Is that who that is? Lisa Willie? Yeah. Or Lisa Marie or
Lisa Marie, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to describe it. Like the way I see things, I know they're there, and like I can see an outline. And sure enough, where I was looking, she said there's a man that walks back and forth across where her laundry room is, and that was the door I was looking at. So, and then it's like turning off a switch to me.
Okay.
And like when I'm busy, I don't notice it. Does that make sense? Like I'm at work, I'm busy, I don't notice anything. But like even at home, if I'm busy, I don't notice anything. But when it's quiet and I'm at a location, I notice more, or it's really quiet somewhere, or you feel like somebody's watching you and nobody's there. I turn it on and off. I don't know how I do it, but I do. I work for a psychic.
I think it's when you're going into the locations, you're more in tuned, right? Your mind is on that particular investigation or that location. So when you're at work or something like that, you're not thinking about any of that stuff. But when you're in the location, that's when you tune in.
Well, I worked for a psychiatric center for 6 years, and there was stuff there. Like I would hear paper. I had my own office. I would hear papers rustle behind me. Down by my boss's office, every morning I come in, I could just feel the energy from somebody angry. And I just got tired of it one day. I said, look, I know you're there. I know you're mad. I don't know why, but you're no longer with us. You need to move on. And he didn't bother me much after that. And one of the gals I worked with, she worked in a different area, but in the same, it was called the children's unit, where they used to house the kids before they moved them. And she would see somebody walk back and forth in there, and she'd run over to my office and ask me, I just saw something. Can you come look? And I walked in one morning, it's really weird. You kind of had to weave around. And I come in and I turn right, and then I whip around and do a U-turn into the next hallway and unlock the door. And there was a kid sitting on the floor with his head on his knees, like he was crying. And I saw him, and when I was kind of shocked, and he just faded away. So, but now where I work at, I can't tell if anything's there or not. We're always so busy.
Lex?
Yeah, that's a weird one. Seeing kids, that's always a strange one. But so you've got a few years of experience. So I'd like to find out, of all the places you've investigated over your time, which ones would you say has been your favorite, or have you got a favorite moment in the paranormal?
Ohio State Reformatory, hands down. Well, that's still standing.
That was very quick.
I love Ohio State Reformatory. I have a thing for Ohio, I think.
From what I understand, there is a lot of locations in Ohio that are now. Isn't there an asylum? I believe there's an asylum in Ohio, right? That's it's obviously closed down, but it's absolutely huge. It's really big. It's got like 14 buildings to it.
Athens. It's in Athens, Ohio, I think. Is it at not at Ohio State University, but the Ohio State University? I don't know why they named it that. It's confusing. But if it's the one I'm thinking of in Athens, that's the one that was an asylum. Shoot, here in Indiana, when I lived in Fort Wayne, they had the state hospital, one of them, before they sent them to Indy. They had a state hospital in Fort Wayne. They turned that into Ivy Tech State College. And I went to school there as they were refurbishing the buildings, and it still had that asylum green walls on it. And we drove by yesterday, and you can still look at the outside and tell what it used to be.
Wow.
And that place is active. Like, you talk to the employees and they're like, yeah, we hear the elevators going up and down and nobody's there. And I saw a little girl standing at the doorway in my math class, and I came to find out that the floor above it was where the children stayed. Like, I mean, I was sitting at class in the morning, I look over at the door, and I saw this little girl with long brown hair and this white gown on, and she was just looking at me. And I was like, I kept looking. I was like, hi. And she just kind of went away. But yeah, that place is active.
So what has been one of your scariest moments on an investigation that you've done in the past?
I actually have two. One was at Ohio State Reformatory at OSR. First time I ever went there, I'd only been investigating for maybe a month or two. Of course, that was like cemeteries, small things around here. Then I tackled the big boy, and something felt like it was trying to take over my body. Like, I would breathe and you could feel it. And they actually had to get me out of there and ground me. I couldn't breathe.
Wow.
And I went right back in, and I never had issues since. I've had weird stuff happen to me at home. Like, I've been listening to a podcast about Ohio State Reformatory, or one of the YouTube shows, And I was cleaning my kitchen, and I come around the corner, and there's this big black shadow standing at the corner of my table. And I think, how in the hell did this guy get in my house? I pick up the broom to swing, and I start laughing at myself because it just disappears. And Xander was 5 or 6, and he comes in here, and from my kitchen, you go out to my laundry room and then outside. And he's like, Mom, who's that guy standing by the door? I said, you see him? And he goes, yeah, he's standing there. I was like, does he look mean? No, he's just standing there watching us. Yeah. And then there's an old hospital that was torn down. It was called St. Joseph Hospital over in Lorain, Ohio. That place was amazing. They had to close it because of mold. Black mold took it over. But I was standing in the psych ward, and my friend Cindy that I mentioned that went to Eloise with me, her daughter was standing beside of me. 2 gals across from us was sitting on the floor. Cindy was on the floor. 2 ladies that joined us was there. And then our guides, Kendra and Megan, were standing there. And for some reason, I would not sit down. And I kept looking towards the stairwell door that we came in. It was open. And I'm just standing there watching. We're doing an EVP session. And something comes in. The only thing I can describe it as is a rake, if you know what that is. And it was about halfway up the door. It was probably like, I don't know, 4.5 feet tall. And it comes in and drops down. It sees me look at it. It drops down. Go. No, go. And am I doing something? Okay, why are you bugging me about water balloons? Go. No. He wants to play in the water and at like 40 degrees out. But I'm like, no, it'll turn to ice. So it drops down and starts crawling along the wall. Like you can see it move along the wall.
Oh,
I got them out of there pretty quick.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And we were supposed to have went back the week. They closed it down 1 or 2 weeks before we were supposed to have went back. And I wanted to go to that area and sit down and do an EVP session and see if I could communicate with whatever that was. Yeah, I'm kind of crazy like that. But come to find out, there was a portal on the floor above where we were at. And then the ICU unit was amazing. There was a lady there named Agatha. And it was just an amazing location. And we had such great experiences there. So you have the good there, and then you have the good in ICU. And my friend's daughter, Katie, even said she saw this thing crawling on the ceiling in ICU. So I guess it was all over. And come to find out, other people had seen that before too in there and after. So I wasn't the only one, but that's my creepy stuff. But years later, I'm still doing it.
There you go. So, Lex, you want to ask it? What was that? Did you guys hear that voice?
I heard it.
Yeah.
I
Hold
just
on.
heard a little girl's voice.
No, that was Catherine. She sent me a voice clip and it accidentally played. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I thought I heard a little girl's voice. There you go. So, Lex, why don't you ask your last question? And
okay.
Everybody gets ready for this question. Everybody gets ready for this question.
Oh, God. Okay.
Right. Okay, Jen. So, if I was to send you on a task where you had to go back to that lovely wall crawling location and you had to catch me, the creature that was crawling along the walls, but in doing so, I would pay you all the money in the world with a catch that you'd have to use that money to investigate anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Can I split it into 3 locations?
Of course you can. It's all the money in the world.
It would be Chernobyl,
Yeah, that's
Pompeii,
a great one. Yeah,
and Poveglia.
I'm not familiar with that last one.
No, don't do this to me.
Well, I might be. What was it called again?
Poveglia. It's the island over that you're not allowed to go on in Italy.
Oh, yes,
Yep.
I know it. Yes.
So those are my three big places.
Is that the island of the dolls?
No, that's in Mexico. Oh my God, I'm just telling you, just like come out.
It's a small island between Venice and Lido.
I believe so. Yeah,
in the Venetian Lagoon. Yeah, I know where it is.
What was it? A TB hospital, and there's all kinds of people buried over there.
Yeah,
I don't know if or was it a plague?
It's a plague quarantine center from 1793 to 1814.
Yep, and because I remember they wore those masks with the herbs in it.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. We've not had that one before, so that's wicked. That's a really good one.
But I would love to go to Pompeii. I think that would be amazing to see. And Chernobyl, it has so much going on.
Yeah,
I guess maybe that's the cryptid side of me coming out, because they say there's animals that's mutated.
Yeah. It's good though, because usually we find a lot of the places that people say when I ask this question tend to be the same. And I'm keeping track of how many people say it, and so it's really cool. I don't think anyone said Pompeii before.
Well, I've got a gnat flying around and it keeps bugging me.
Yeah, and so we've never had that. We've never had Poveglia, but we have had Chernobyl before. I do know that. But yeah, there's 3 really good answers.
At least you didn't say London McDonald's.
It's an ingoing joke about my headset. Don't worry about it.
He always got something to say, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, you know what? And it's funny because during the whole show, there were things that we weren't sure about. And then here's Raymond, brings it right up. And I don't know, maybe he's Googling everything at the same time he's listening. I don't know. He seems to have
He's like, I want to see if she's right.
Raymond's our fact checker. He's the through the lens fact check true person.
And if he's like, nope, she's wrong, let me tell her. I can see him doing that.
I mean, someone did incorrectly say that Leonard Nimoy was
Raymond
Captain
won't
Kirk.
do that.
That was funny.
I have to say this. We were talking about Leonard Nimoy. I think the coolest show that was on TV that I remember seeing, like in the 80s, early 90s, is do you remember Fear on MTV?
Yeah,
you remember that stuff?
I know that show. Yeah.
Wait, you're young though. How you remember that?
I watched a lot of MTV when I was younger.
But yeah, I thought that show was really cool, and because of that, I always wanted to go to West Virginia. So, but I can tell you creepy stories about there too.
I mean, yeah,
but you have to take
I was 8 years old when Fear was aired, so
I have nothing else to say to you.
In the year 2000, I was alive then.
That is what it is. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on today's show. I really, really appreciate that, Jen. I'm so looking forward to your investigation on the 13th of May at the Collingwood Arts Center. If people are interested in the para retreat, whether it's the women's or the men's, I did put the link in the chat, but the link is in the description as well. If you want to go check that out, let's fill up those retreats and get people in there and women in there and men there and stuff like that. Let's book them up and let's make it a good retreat, and it will continue being a good retreat every single year. That way she can probably make it, instead of 2 days or 1 day or whatever it is, make it into 3 days, maybe into 4 days, if she's getting enough people out there and filling them up. So go check it out. But again, Jen, thank you on today's show. I really, really appreciate it. And Lex?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jen. It's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard a lot about you, so this is really cool to meet you and talk to you. But thank you for coming on here and sharing your stories with us.
It's all good things.
All good things, I promise. But yeah, definitely thank you for sharing the stories with us. And we definitely looking forward to seeing your slot during the ghost hunt. I can't wait for it, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors, and can't wait to work with you in the future.
Same here. Thanks for having me on. Bryan, I forgot to tell you, I have a second interview for our global ghost hunt event. I know I told you about the first one. I had an email this morning that a news station would like to interview me for it.
Nice.
So, and all you got to do is promote, and get that out there. And you know how I like.
And I know you've already had one. Have you heard? Did you hear back, or did you hear it? I know you've already done the first one, right?
No, it's coming up. It'll be mid-April, and then we're looking at mid-April for that second one. But that's why I was telling them you just gotta get it out there and put it in newspapers, put it on calendars, do all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, you're right. Well, thank you again, and we'll definitely talk soon. Okay, Jen?
All right, you guys have a good day. Thanks for having me. And Raymond, behave yourself.
Have a great rest of the day, Jen.
You too.
Well, that was unfortunately, the internet is always not so kind, especially when you're talking about shows or podcasts about the paranormal, right, Lexers?
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
like my screen's been buffering. Yeah, I can hear you. My screen's been buffering like for ages, but I can't see you moving on my screen.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I checked on the live stream. You are moving, just not on my screen.
Good night, Bill. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate that. And yeah, it's been one of those. Unfortunately, it's been one of those shows where nothing seemed to be going right. A lot of audio, a lot of video issues, but I have a little bit of a surprise. Yes, not next week. Ooh. The week after, we have an incredible guest that's a little bit popular in the UK. And this person has done shows such as Haunted Hotel, Britain's Scary, and also The Most Terrifying Places and more. Something, I think there's a show out there that called that. Most Terrifying Places. This person's going to be on the show in 2 weeks.
I've heard the other two.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
This person's going to be on the show in 2 weeks. So this is really going to be, that's going to be a great show.
It will be indeed.
Person. And this person is a medium as well. So that's all I'm going to say until I actually.
That's what you need to say.
What's that?
That's all you need to say. Tune in 2 weeks to figure out.
Do you know who it is now, Lex?
I know who.
Do you know who it is now, Lex? Because I said she's a medium.
Yes, I know who it is.
So she's going to be on the show in 2 weeks, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to having her on, and I think that's going to be one of our more popular guests that we've had in the past. And people, number 100 shows are coming up. Our 100th show, I should say, is coming up. Mm-hmm. Because I'll have a guest this week, and then the next week she will be 99. And then what do we need? What are we going to do for our 100th show?
I don't know. We're going to have to talk about it. I have no idea.
Because 100 is a big deal. Maybe do some giveaways. What do you think about some giveaways? Maybe some giveaways on global merchandise.
That would be a very good idea.
We can do that. Maybe a hoodie and a hat. Maybe a tumbler.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a big delay. There's about a 5-second delay, I think.
Yes,
when
there
you're-
is, and it's getting worse the longer as this is going on. I think it might be my internet.
Yeah. Yeah, for the 100th show, we're gonna have to do something special, I think. And who was the guest on your guest on show? Ooh, who was our guest on show 1? Do you remember? It was 2 years ago.
It was 2
I
years.
don't
It was
even
before we
remember
even
what I had for lunch yesterday.
That
when
was-
you were asking me.
that was before we moved on to our own channel as well. So our
Yeah, well, now
first
see, that's
guest-
going to bother me if I don't find out. That is going
I
to
can
bother
tell
me.
you.
Who was our first guest?
I
You
can-
know who
I-
our first guest was? I think it was
Well, I'm
Dom.
about to tell you. Literally about to tell you. I have it saved.
I think it was Dominic from 13 Spirits Paranormal.
Well, if you give me a second, I'll tell you. I've got it up on my screen.
There's a
Our first guest was. Fuck it. This thing takes forever to load. Jesus. Our
Okay,
first
let me
guest
look
on the
at my-
our first episode, we didn't have a guest. It was just us.
well, then it must have been the second one.
Okay. Second
I'm
episode.
sure it was Dominic.
The next, yeah. No,
The first
it was David. Episode 2
David
was
who,
David
Taylor?
from Our Haunted Lives. Our Haunted Lives.
Oh, okay. When was Dominic?
Not them ones. Not 3.
You know what?
Not
I think
4,
Dominic was our first guest on
Not 5.
I think Dominic was the. See, I'm mixing it up. Dominic was our first guest on Parapost Live when I was doing Parapost Live. He was our first guest when it was me and Mike doing it.
Yeah, because currently I'm on episode 13 and we still haven't got him back yet. He's still not here yet. So let me keep going.
Yeah. David Taylor. That's right. David Taylor. Mr. Taylor. Mr. Our Haunted Lives, who's on Paraflix. He has a talk show on Paraflix. That's good with Chrissy Grissom. If you're not if you're not signed up for Paraflix, what's wrong with you?
Which is interesting because Grissom was our guest on show 21, episode 21.
Yes, because she filled in.
She did.
Because we had someone else and the other person. We won't say who I'll remind you about that situation because originally we had somebody else on that show that decided 5 minutes before the show that they were going to cancel on us. And then that's why I brought on Christy.
Well, I probably remember. I've got the thumbnail. I've got them all saved, so I'm assuming it's in here somewhere.
Anyhow, other than that,
we're waffling. Let's go.
hopefully we'll see everybody back next week. What's that?
I said, we are waffling. We gotta go.
Yeah. So, anyways, everyone, again, I want to thank everybody that came in the show today. So I want to thank Jenn Jacobs for coming on today and talking about her para retreat. And if you're interested, please go down below in the description and you can find the links for that. I think it's Para Retreats on Facebook, I believe. So go check that out. Sign up. Go to the women's retreat. Go to the retreat. Have fun. It's and you're going to get to do some investigations. I'm kind of curious why it's 2 days for women and 1 day for men.
Because it's new.
Should be both. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, other than that, I want to say my goodbyes, and I hope everybody has a great rest of the day and has a good week.
Yeah, and I hope everyone. Thank you for everyone
Catch
for
up,
tuning
Max.
in today. I know. Thank you for tuning in today, everybody. Thank you for leaving your comments, and again, thank you to Jenn Jacobs for coming onto the show. Long fan. Been waiting to have her on, so thank you for that. And we'll see you all next week. And don't forget, start signing up for October soon, guys, because May's done. We'll see you for the ghost hunt in a month's time. So blessed. Stay spooky. Stay safe. See you next week.